guys, well, first time to do this. We're going to make like an oats cake, so it's not really a brownie thing, it's just an oats cake. So we're going to try and keep it soft on the inside. Hopefully guys on diet and stuff, this would be a really good way to do a cheat meal rather than buying crappy processed cheesecake and stuff like that. But there are a few good things and a few bad things in this. So what we've got some crushed almond M&M's chocolates, which is not too bad. Tablespoon of self-raising flour and raising flour, 500 grams of oats. We've got about 4 tablespoons of peanut butter, got some vanilla essence, 1 tablespoon butter, another 7 tablespoons of natural honey, and you've got like a whole bowl of Synergy 5 shake, and we've got some cinnamon and honey for backup. And obviously I use full cream milk, but you can go wave the milk or use skim milk. What I've done is already put some water to boil, but it's got half water, half milk, so stand on the other side. Yeah. I like to let it soak up, so I'll just chuck the oats in there. And as you can see, this, have a look, it's not completely dry, it's just a little, so that they slightly under. As it goes, they might need a little bit more water. So for this stage, because it's got the milk, more water. There you go, that should be perfect. So they're not completely drowned in there. Alright, and we'll leave that, we'll let that cook by on its own. Alright, so baby. Alright, so now with the Synergy 5, we'll pretty much use that as a topping. So what I do with this, I like to keep it thick. More often than not, I'll just use water. But there's a few things you can add: flour, you can add some vanilla essence, it's vanilla flavored. I like the chocolate truffle as well. And for an extra spice, you can go the Turkish delight. And what I do, just pour the milk in and beat it. Okay, babe.
Okay, it's going.
Okay, so you can see the amount of milk that I add is pretty much to get a really nice thick consistency. Well, because what I want to do is I'm going to be using this as the icing. I'm not going to stick this in the oven, and I personally don't like cooking protein too much in the oven. So all it is for is just to get a real nice thick paste. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see, just keeping nice and thick. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually added in a capful of vanilla essence to that too. And for me, just because it's vanilla flavored, I want a little bit more taste of vanilla. It's a bit more icy. But you don't have to use vanilla essence. You could use natural fruit, apples, bananas, whatever that you want to add to the oats. People like raspberries, so dice up some raspberries, chuck them in there, and you're good to go.
Okay, go.
Alright, and what I do is, in the meantime, is I just keep checking up on the oats. And as you can see, they're not drowning, they're still a little bit watery, but it's perfect. You don't want to overcook them. So what I'll do at this stage is I'll add a little bit more water because they're still a little hard. I'm not making brownies, I'm making a cake. So we'll add a little bit more water to that.
Okay.
Alright, now you can see they're getting really nice and soft. So what I'll do at this stage, because it's hot, that's when I'll add the other stuff. So the one thing that I will do first is, because it's still watery, is I'll add the flour. So it's just a tablespoon of each. Now what I've done is I've mixed the self-raising and the normal flour in there. So half of it will go into the oats, and the other half will actually go into the icing. It thickens up, it dries it up, it soaks it up a little bit more. Then after that, that's when I add the running stuff. So the butter and the honey. So basically everything gets absorbed in there. Now we've got pretty much our oats, our butter, our honey. So there's a little bit of fat in the butter. I've got my peanut butter in there, it's runny, and that will add a little bit more of the flavor. Again, remember guys, looks like a lot, it's just a cake. So move it around and we'll get it blended in. Cool, babe. I'll let that sit for a little while. The oven's been preheated, and now I'll just blend the flour to the Synergy 5, and that's going to make it a little bit thicker too. Now, one thing I do for a little bit more sweetness in this aspect is I use a little thin layer of honey as well as cinnamon over the top. I add cinnamon, love oats and cinnamon flavor. Okay, now that I just let sit for about 5 minutes before I stick it in the oven.
Okay.
Basically that's done there. This is the long part, so we're going to stick that in the oven, probably let it cook for about 40 minutes, and once we take it out we let it cool down for like another 40 minutes before we add the Synergy 5 to it. There you go. Okay guys, so what I've done, I've pulled it out, I've let it simmer for a little while, it's cooled off a little, it's still warm. I've mixed some of the almonds, the crushed almonds into the shake itself. So all I've done is just pour that over the top. Whatever's left of the crushed nuts, I'll just pretty much sprinkle on the top. Yeah, now my hands are washed. Cinnamon over the top just for flavor. And oats cake. Now all that does, it goes into the fridge and I'll just let it sit in cold in the fridge and let that sit. Usually, look, in about an hour should be good, but the longer it sits the better, so I'll usually leave it the day before and then the next day I'll have it.